Hey, this is Ashley. Hey there, it's Ashley. I am a nurse practitioner and a health coach. And I am the founder of Biome Elite. It's a gut health private practice focused on helping clients balance gut and hopefully eradicate their symptoms. Um, so I gave a workshop this weekend. It was on the art of fermentation and the science of gut health. I collaborated with a local chef here in New York. I taught the gut health portion, and he taught the fermentation piece. We made kimchi in class. It was super fun. But I wanted to hop on here and record my part of it, the gut health portion. And so that is what I'm going to do now. Okay. Okay, so this is the art of fermentation and the science of gut health. I talked about a little bit about my background. So I'm Ashley. My background is in women's health. I worked for 15 years in women's health. And then 5 years ago, I personally experienced a lot of health issues. Conventional medicine recommended a slew of medications, and they recommended that I have surgery for my specific symptoms. But I wanted to get to the root of the problem if I could. So I went the functional route. I rebalanced my gut, and over time, my symptoms went away. I didn't need surgery or medications. Obviously, I know that there's a place for conventional medicine and surgery, but in my case, all I had to do was, work on my gut health, rebalance my gut, change my lifestyle and my diet, and my symptoms went away. I wanted to help others looking for a similar solution to their health issues. I wanted to help people looking for a holistic approach. So I founded Biome Elite in 2023 after graduating from nurse practitioner school. I also work here in Manhattan at a longevity center. I'm their nurse practitioner as well. So why does gut health matter? Our gut microbiome consists of trillions of microorganisms, which play an important role in maintaining the ecosystem of the entire body. Gut health affects all 12 body systems. I'm not going to talk about all of them in this presentation, but I'm going to mention a few of the important ones. Okay, so our immune system. About 70% of the immune system is housed in the gut. And the microbiome plays a direct role in our immune system. So when the gut is out of balance, it can contribute to a hyperactive immune system. A hyperactive immune system can lead to chronic inflammation, food sensitivities, skin issues, seasonal allergies, and autoimmune conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, or thyroiditis. An underactive immune system due to poor gut health can look like frequent colds and infections. So maintaining a healthy microbiome is important in maintaining a balanced immune system. The nervous system. The gut is often called the second brain because it contains millions of neurons, and it communicates directly with the brain via the gut-brain axis. Gut bacteria produce neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, which regulate mood, focus, and stress responses. About 90% of our serotonin, so our feel-good hormone, is produced in the gut. And studies show that a balanced microbiome leads to better mood stability, reduced anxiety and depression, and improved cognitive function as well. An imbalanced gut can disrupt neurotransmitter production, which can be at the root of symptoms like brain fog, mood swings, anxiety, and depression. And studies have linked an unhealthy gut to neurodegenerative Alzheimer's and Parkinson's due to increased inflammation and oxidative stress. So if you feel chronically fatigued, irritable, or experience poor concentration, an imbalanced gut may be one of the underlying causes. Our digestive system. So a well-balanced microbiome supports digestion by breaking down complex carbohydrates, proteins, and fats efficiently. When beneficial bacteria also support a healthy gut lining and help prevent against leaky gut syndrome. Leaky gut is, it looks like this. So in a normal, healthy gut, the lining has tight junctions that prevent undigested food particles or toxins from entering the bloodstream. In leaky gut, however, the the gut lining becomes irritated and inflamed, and junctions become damaged, allowing these particles and toxins into the bloodstream, which can trigger an immune response and can lead to systemic inflammation, food sensitivity, bloating, fatigue, and brain fog. The gut microbiome also aids in the production of essential vitamins like B12, biotin, and vitamin K, which are crucial for energy production and brain function. When you have a diverse and thriving microbiome, digestion should feel smooth with minimal bloating, gas, or discomfort. And when you have an imbalanced gut, it can lead to malabsorption of nutrients and deficiencies in key vitamins and minerals. So this can contribute to symptoms like fatigue, hair loss, and skin issues. And the imbalance can also contribute to conditions like IBS, constipation, diarrhea, and bloating. The metabolic system, a healthy gut also supports healthy metabolism, stable blood sugar levels, and efficient fat storage and energy use. Certain gut bacteria, like Akkermansia and bifidobacteria, promote lean body composition and reduce the risk of obesity. Beneficial bacteria also help regulate inflammation and support healthy hormone and peptide signaling. Most people have heard of GLP-1s. Ozempic and Wegovy are GLP-1s. Your intestine actually secretes this peptide, and it's responsible for slowing digestion, increasing insulin secretion, and reducing hunger. When you have an imbalanced gut, studies show that it can lead to dysregulation of these hormones and peptides, which can lead to insulin resistance, weight gain, and metabolic disorders like type 2 diabetes. And then we have our endocrine system. The gut microbiome regulates hormone levels like stress. Your cortisol is your stress hormone, estrogen, testosterone, and thyroid hormones. And so certain gut bacteria help metabolize estrogen and detox certain excess hormones, preventing hormone-related issues like PMS, irregular periods, and mood swings. Poor gut health can also contribute to chronic stress and high cortisol, which leads to fatigue, anxiety, and disrupted sleep patterns. And then lastly is our skin. A healthy gut improves the absorption of our skin-supporting vitamins like A, C, D, E, and zinc. In an imbalanced gut, leaky gut can trigger skin issues like acne and eczema. And then candida and parasite overgrowth can also lead to skin rashes, fungal infections, and acne. So how do we balance and heal the gut? And where do ferments fit into rebalancing the gut? So I'm going to talk about the 5 R's of gut healing. It takes anywhere from 2 to 6 months, sometimes up to a year, to rebalance the gut, depending on the severity of the inflammation going on in the gut. The first phase is the remove phase. This is where we focus on eliminating harmful factors that contribute to gut dysbiosis and inflammation. So inflammatory foods, personal allergies and food sensitivities, gut infections and overgrowth, stress, toxins, and medications. Some inflammatory foods are processed sugar, excess processed foods, excess sugar, refined carbs like white flour and white bread, inflammatory oils like vegetable oils, corn, peanut, grapeseed, cottonseed, other seed oils. You want to stick to olive oil, ghee, butter, and coconut oil. Artificial colors, flavors, dyes, and chemicals can also cause inflammation. Drinks with added sugar, coffee, and alcohol in excess as well can cause inflammation. You want to get in the habit of checking labels and look for clean ingredients. Packaged foods with ingredients that you don't recognize, with like 5 ingredients or more, you want to avoid. And then you also want to avoid products with any added sugar. So, if you look at a label and sugar is within the first 5 or 4 ingredients, you want to not consume that. You want to stick to foods that are whole around the perimeter of the grocery store. You want to have lean protein, healthy fats, plant fiber with every meal. And remember that variety and type and color of fruits and vegetables is important. So you do want to eat the rainbow. And then you also want to get rid of any personal food sensitivities for a time, for about 4 to 6 weeks, while you work on rebalancing the gut, healing the gut lining, getting rid of inflammatory agents. And then you want to slowly, one by one, reintroduce these food sensitivities to see if there's a reaction after the gut is healed. Some Common food sensitivities are gluten, dairy, eggs, soy, corn, nightshades like tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, potatoes, and nuts and seeds. You can work with a practitioner to figure out your specific food sensitivities. Um, food sensitivities can be hard to pinpoint because you can have a reaction up to 48 hours after the food is consumed, and you can have reactions like bloating, fatigue, skin issues, joint pain, and brain fog. So it's helpful. You could keep a food journal or eliminate the common food sensitivities while you work on healing the gut, or like I said, work with a practitioner. You can also do food sensitivity testing or stool testing. You want to remove any gut infections and overgrowths. So this is helpful. It's helpful to have a stool test if you suspect that you might have an overgrowth. Some common overgrowths are Candida, H. pylori, SIBO, and parasites. Candida can disrupt yeast. It can disrupt the balance of the gut microbiome and can lead to symptoms like bloating, fatigue, skin issues, and brain fog. SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, is where bacteria that normally reside in the large intestine are overgrown in the small intestine. It can lead to bloating, nutrient malabsorption, and digestive issues. H. pylori infections, when overgrown, can cause ulcers, reflux, and increased gut inflammation as well. And then parasites in the gut can lead to nutrient deficiencies, chronic fatigue, digestive issues like bloating and diarrhea, and can even trigger immune system dysregulation and inflammation. So you can, again, work with a practitioner to test for gut infections if you suspect you might have any. And typically, you'd want to follow a antimicrobial protocol and a food protocol in some instances to eradicate these during the remove phase. Another thing you want to remove is stress. So managing chronic stress is really important to supporting the gut. Stress and elevated cortisol levels can weaken gut lining integrity, and cortisol can also reduce beneficial bacteria, allowing opportunistic bacteria to flourish. So some stress reduction techniques, we all know these, incorporating daily mindfulness practices like meditation, breathwork, or yoga, engaging in regular light movement like walking or stretching, which reduces cortisol levels, and prioritizing quality sleep, so like 7 to 9 hours per night to regulate gut function. You want to remove toxins. The gut is highly sensitive to environmental toxins like pesticides, BPA, plastics, heavy metals, and food additives. So you want to choose organic produce when possible. The Environmental Working Group, EWG, publishes a yearly list called the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 to help guide choices. The Dirty Dozen are the most pesticide-contaminated fruits and vegetables, so it's best to buy them organic when possible. And then you want to use like glass or stainless steel instead of plastic containers for food storage, and switch to natural household and personal care products free of synthetic chemicals, also when possible. And then there are medications that also disrupt the gut: antibiotics, NSAIDs, PPIs, birth control, metformin, antidepressants, steroids. These can all affect the gut, so just keep that in mind. The next phase is the replace phase. This is where we replace digestive enzymes, stomach acid, and bile salts that you might be deficient in to support digestive function. Deficiency in digestive enzymes can be caused by chronic stress or poor diet and processed foods. And so let's talk about each one of these. There are 3. The digestive enzymes, they break down proteins, fats, and carbs for optimal absorption. Enzyme supplementation reduces bloating and improves digestion in people with enzyme insufficiency. Betaine hydrochloric acid aids in protein digestion, and it helps prevent SIBO and gut dysbiosis by maintaining gut pH balance. You can support stomach acid with apple cider vinegar and other supplements. And then lastly, bile salts and bitters, they help improve fat metabolism and liver detoxification. And you can incorporate bitter foods like dandelion and arugula or ox bile supplements. So should everyone take a probiotic? We're going to get into the re-inoculate phase. The answer is no, not everybody should take a probiotic. If you have SIBO or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, it can actually make symptoms worse until you get rid of the SIBO. Ideally, we're getting the majority of our nutrients and probiotics through food sources. But if you, you're doing a gut protocol, sometimes it's good to have a high dose pharmaceutical grade probiotic to really repopulate the gut. And then using probiotics specific to what you're deficient in, as evidenced by your stool test that you do, it can be beneficial. And then lastly, if you just don't like the taste of ferments, I usually recommend a daily probiotic to those clients who just don't like the taste of ferments. But otherwise, ideally, you're getting probiotics through dietary sources. So re-inoculate, this is where we inoculate with probiotics and prebiotics. Lactobacillus and bifidobacterium improve gut immunity, which reduce inflammation and reduce IBS symptoms. These are found in yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, and miso. Akkermansia and butyrate producers, they strengthen the gut barrier, prevent leaky gut, and lower inflammation. And these are found in polyphenol-rich foods like pomegranate, green tea, cloudful berries. And how do you restore beneficial bacteria? Like we talked about, you can take a multi-strain probiotic based on the stool test findings. You can consume prebiotic-rich fibers, so onions, garlics, and leeks. You can incorporate fermented foods as well into your diet. You also want to work on repairing the gut lining. This is the repair phase. You want to strengthen and heal the gut lining. So some key nutrients for this are glutamine, zinc, and omega-3. Glutamine you can take as a powder, or it's also found in bone broth, eggs, beef, and cabbage. Zinc you can take in the supplement form, but it's also found in dietary sources. And then omega-3 fatty acids, same, found in salmon, flax seeds, walnuts, and algae-based supplements, but also in supplement. When we head into the maintenance phase, there are certain supplements that I recommend routinely for my clients and ones that I take routinely. And L-glutamine and omega-3s are two of my maintenance supplements, but every person is different. So, and then the last phase is rebalance. This is where we look at long-term gut health maintenance. So, we have gotten to a balanced gut state by removing inflammation and overgrown microbes. We've replaced deficient enzymes or stomach acid, restored adequate amounts of bacteria, and then repaired the gut lining. And so the last phase is the rebalance phase. We work on lifestyle factors to maintain a healthy gut. So we reduce stress, keep it at a low state. We incorporate daily stress reduction techniques to do that. We improve sleep, aiming for 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night, making that a priority. We engage in regular movement. Exercise enhances gut diversity. And then we avoid ultra-processed foods, which feed pathogenic bacteria. You want to follow a high-fiber whole foods diet with diverse plants. You want to cycle ferments and probiotics to maintain microbial diversity, and you want to incorporate intermittent fasting. That's down the line. You don't have to do it, but it's also one of the things that is beneficial to a healthy gut microbiome if you decide to do it, if it works for you. Okay, so the next couple slides I'm gonna talk about fermentation a little bit. So where do ferments fit into a gut health protocol? We talked about that during the re-inoculate phase. Our guts need good bacteria to help fight inflammation, protect the gut lining, support immunity, brain health, mood, balanced weight, digestion, skin health, and so much more. The number of CFUs, or the number of bacteria, varies widely across different fermented foods. So I actually tried to find studies with exact values for the different kinds of ferments, but it varies depending on brand and process. Generally, these are all good sources of probiotics, what you see on the slide. So kimchi, plain kefir, plain yogurt, sauerkraut, kombucha, and pickled vegetables can all have significant probiotic content. Be mindful of a few things. Vegetables pickled in vinegar are not a good source of probiotics. Vinegar kills most bacteria. High temperatures also destroy live bacteria, so cooking fermented foods like heating sauerkraut or miso kills probiotics. Most strains die at temps above 115 degrees Fahrenheit, 115. Pasteurization kills probiotics. It involves heating to around 140 or 160 degrees Fahrenheit. So raw products like kefir are often cultured after pasteurization. Alcohol is also damaging to beneficial bacteria. They can't survive in alcohol levels above 2 to 3%. Low alcohol ferments like traditional kombucha is under 0.5% or water kefir. It may contain live probiotics. But anything stronger like beer, wine, kombucha, hard kombucha, and spirits are not probiotic rich. And then alcohol is also antimicrobial in the gut. It may reduce microbial diversity over time when consumed in excess. Chlorine is also harmful to good bacteria, so make sure when you're making a brine, it's with distilled water. Let's talk about the types of vegetable fermentation. There are 3: kraut making, vegetable pickling, and kimchi. Kraut making or dry salt fermentation is used for shredded or chopped vegetables like cabbage, where salt is massaged into the vegetable to draw out the water and create its own brine. It's ideal for softer, high water content veggies. Vegetables like cucumber, carrots, or radishes are submerged in a saltwater brine. This method is great for our whole or chunky vegetables. And then kimchi making is a combination of the two. Napa cabbage gets soaked in a brine solution, and then it's mixed with spices and vegetables that have not been in the brine. Okay, so the last slide is the science. What's happening during fermentation? When you ferment vegetables, you're creating the perfect environment for beneficial bacteria. Salt's role: the salt draws the water out of the vegetables through osmosis, creating a natural brine. It prevents bad bacteria and mold from growing. They can't handle the environment. And it helps the good gut bacteria thrive. These are salt tolerant and love low oxygen conditions like being underwater. Sugar's role: some veggies like carrots or beets are naturally sweet. The natural sugar becomes food for the bacteria. If you add a small amount of sugar, like in kimchi, it feeds the microbes faster, encouraging fermentation. The bacteria eat the sugar and produce lactic acid, which gives fermented veggies their tangy taste. Where do the bacteria come from? They are already on the surface of the raw vegetable. So to preserve this diversity, you want to wash veggies with cool water and avoid antibacterial soaps or produce washes, which can kill the microbes. And then what's happening during fermentation? The salt is pulling the water out of the vegetables, and it's creating a brine, a natural brine. Natural bacteria, mostly lactobacillus, start eating the sugars, and then they produce lactic acid, carbon dioxide, and other beneficial compounds. The acid lowers pH and preserves the food, and it populates with billions of probiotics. So on days 1 through 3, the salt is killing the bad bacteria, and the good ones start to grow. On days 3 through 7, rapid bacterial activity is happening, and probiotic levels rise fast. And on day 7 through 14 plus, the flavor deepens and acidity increases and bacteria peak. So that was the first half of the presentation. We talked about why gut health matters, why a healthy microbiome matters, how it affects every body system. We talked about the 5 R's of rebalancing the gut, removing, reinoculating, repairing, replacing, and rebalancing. And I wanted to mention that working with a practitioner can be helpful if you want a personalized approach to testing and targeted protocols for your specific needs. I offer free 30-minute gut health consultations. If you're interested, you can go to my website and click free consult. I would love to chat with you about your digestive issues, your symptoms, talk about how rebalancing your gut can really make a difference in your life. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope that you can find the time to make some ferments, some vegetable ferments. All right.